Hello, my name's Sophie and welcome to another day of Vlogmas because we're still going. It's just a few more days left of December. Today I'm filming from a hotel room in Liverpool because my husband works in sports TV broadcast and there's an Everton match on tonight as I'm filming this. So I thought I'd tag along for the ride because why not? For today's video, I thought I'd talk you through my 2024 goals. Not specifically reading goals, I've already made a video on that. Just kind of my general life goals. I have categories and I've broken them down in different ways because I'm the most stereotypical Virgo you could ever meet. But today I'm going to talk you through them. So I'm huge on goal setting. I've always loved giving myself a target and having something to work towards. It helps me stay quite focused. It doesn't necessarily always work, but it's nice to know where I think I want to go. And even if I then prove to myself that I don't want to go in that direction, like one of my goals for 2023 is that I wanted to learn website design, but then in all the ways that I was trying to learn website design, I found that it was something that I just couldn't wrap my head around, and it's not something that was for me. So I kind of abandoned that goal, but that's okay because I tried. That's the kind of approach I take with my goal setting. The way I broke down my goals is into 3 categories, and each category has 3 goals because I like the number 3. It feels complete and round to me. So those 3 categories are personal, professional and home. Again, what those things mean can vary a little bit. Personal and home kind of overlaps, and sometimes personal and professional can overlap. Those are the vague outlines I have. And then I have what I call my 10 aims. I used to call them my 10 bucket list goals, but then it felt a bit morbid. So they're just 10 aims that don't really fit in a category. They're more like one-off, tick, job done kind of things to do. So in the personal category, my 3 goals are to maintain Sophie Counts Clouds both on my blog, on YouTube and on TikTok. If you're watching this video, then you probably know that I returned to YouTube this year to mark the 10-year anniversary of when I first did Vlogmas, and I'm hoping to follow that through into the new year. Not by making a video every single day. This whole Vlogmas has been over ambitious, so definitely not going to maintain that. But at least 1 video a week, maybe 2, depending on how my timeline looks. My blog, I've been writing 1 blog post a week for, I think I managed pretty much every week this year. And on TikTok, I've been quite inconsistently making roughly 4 videos a week. What tends to happen is I have 1 week where I'm really on schedule and I'm really with it. And then I have another week where I really struggle, and the cycle repeats. With all the kind of New Year content, I think I have plans to make a video basically every day till about the 7th of January. If I can maintain daily videos, that would be great, but I'm not putting that pressure on myself. Making content is not something that is a job for me. It's not something I make money from. It is something I do for fun because I enjoy talking about books. I enjoy making videos and learning more about editing. I enjoy writing and sharing my thoughts and feelings. So it's a personal project, but it's one I really want to maintain in 2024. My next personal goal is my creative writing goal. In 2023, I was aiming for 1,000 words a week because in previous years, I've always done like monthly writing challenges. So every other month I would set myself an increasing goal, working up to NaNoWriMo's challenge of 50,000 words in a month. And I wanted in 2023 to make my writing more consistent. So my goal was 1,000 words a week, and I've more than surpassed that. There were, I think, 3 weeks that I didn't write anything, but it was all justifiable. Not that I need to justify why I didn't do it, but everyone has an off week. But my goal for next year is to up that to 2,000 words a week. I definitely cemented writing as a habit in 2023, and next year I want to pick 1 project and actually finish a whole manuscript. Now that I've got that regular habit in my routine, I want to be able to move creative writing from a personal goal to a professional goal. My dream for as long as I can remember has always been to be a published author. Little side note, when I was small, I used to think that every author had to start with an alphabet book, so I would write and rewrite probably hundreds of different versions of an alphabet book, being A is for apple, B is for banana, blah blah blah, because I thought that was how every author had to start. Little fun fact. I've moved past my alphabet book stage. Over the course of writing in 2023, I came up with I think I have about 30 ideas in one document in various stages of planning. So I want to pick maybe 1 or 2 that I can really hone in on 2024. So my writing goal is 2,000 words a week. That was a really long-winded way of explaining that. Oh, 2,000 words a week plus NaNoWriMo. So I'll be doing 50,000 words in November, which I think equates to approximately 12,000 words a week. But obviously that is not a sustainable goal. So 2,000 words a week. And then I've also put my reading goal in the personal section. I have a completely separate list of book goals, but to integrate it into my general goals list, my reading goal for next year is 52 books. When I started making reading goals, I did it in multiples of 12 so that I could quantify it in how many books to read per month. So I started with 12 books as a goal, which is 1 a month, then 24 for 2 a month, 36 for 3 a month. And then in 2022, I only just hit my 36 book reading goal. So I didn't want to leap all the way up to 48. So I set my goal at 42, which is halfway between. So I was aiming to read 3.5 books per month. But then at the point I'm filming this, I've read 79 books. So I absolutely smashed it anyway. So I don't want to be too overly ambitious with my goal. I'd rather set a lower goal and hit it than set a higher goal and feel pressured to hit it. So I've jumped from 42 books being my goal for 2023 to 52 books being my goal for 2024, because 52 weeks in a year. So my reading goal next year is 52 books. So for my professional goals, this is something that's a bit difficult, and I've learned a lot about professional goal setting in the 6 or 7 years I have been goal setting. I think I was a little bit delusional when I was at uni that I'd be like, right, okay, well by the end of the year I'm going to have this job and I'm going to earn this much money and I'm going to be doing this, this and this. And there's an element of professional development in terms of your job that isn't always down to you. In 2022, I was very spontaneously and brutally fired from my job, and that wasn't on my 2022 bingo card, let's put it that way. It completely skewed any ambitions I had for myself for 2023, because instead of developing professionally, I ended up spending a lot of time in therapy coping with the PTSD that I got from being fired from that job. What I've learned in setting professional goals is that I have to look to things that I am within control of and things that I can develop within myself, because there is an element of uncertainty when working for someone else, but there's an element that comes with that takes away control about your own professional future. So I've made my goals with that in mind. When I'm goal setting, I do try to use the kind of SMART method, that anagram that, is it an anagram? It's not an anagram. The little phrase that we all learned in school about goal setting that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. If you want to set goals that you actually intend to achieve, those things are super important to think about. And with these goals, at least 2 of them aren't SMART at all, because I'm in such an uncertain place with my professional career. But I think they are the kind of starting whistle I need to get back in the mindset of not being scared of being in employment again. Let's just get into it. My first professional goal is to figure out what is next to me and work for it. Figure something out is what I've written, with something in italics. Yeah, I just need to find out what my focus is, and at this point I don't know what that is. I need to stop waiting for it to come to me and go find it. I need to make more time for looking at the opportunities that are out there, figuring out what's right for me and what I want my future career to look like. We're manifesting. I think I'm entering my manifesting era. So my second goal is to make time for learning and figure out what actually works for me, whether it be Skillshare, YouTube tutorials, books, classes, etc. Professional development is really important to me. I never want to be someone who goes into a job and does exactly the same thing for the next 60 years of my life. I want to continue learning and continue growing, especially where it's likely that I will end up in a creative field. I'm a creative person. I've worked my whole life towards being in a creative environment, and I don't think there's a way to be in a creative job without looking to develop that creativity, whether it is professionally or personally. I have a Skillshare subscription. YouTube is available to everyone. I have plenty of books. Maybe I should start buying some non-fiction ones to help learn about certain things. Maybe I need to find some in-person classes to attend, because sometimes I find I can't engage with a book or a video. So I need to spend time working on that and trying different things to actually figure out what's best for me and how I can actually ensure that I am continuing to learn. So that's goal number 2. And goal number 3 is much simpler. I have a portfolio Instagram account. I know a lot of creative professionals have portfolios online, and as someone who has always aimed to work in social media and marketing, it makes sense for me to put my portfolio on my Instagram, and having the goal to update that at least once a week. I want to be able to say something insightful each week. It also means that I'm always on top and up to date with my account, rather than if I was applying for a job and I said, here's my portfolio Instagram account, and then the last post was from 6 months ago. I don't think that would look very good to an employer. So keeping that up to date is something that I think is important for my professional development. And then my home goals generally tend to refer to things that are to do with me and my husband and our life together. My first home goal is about the holidays I'd like to go on next year. Who turns holidays into goals? I would love to go on another international holiday with my husband. This year we went on our honeymoon to Kos in Greece, and we just sat and relaxed in an all-inclusive hotel for 2 weeks, and it was glorious. And whether we do something like that again, or whether we go and do a European city break and we go exploring, I don't know nor care at this point. I just want to go on holiday. I'd love to visit a new place in the UK. Being able to go on holiday in the UK is a much cheaper alternative, and there's so many beautiful places in the UK that I've never visited. I'd really like to go to Hay-on-Wye, which is known as the Book Town, and I think it's just inside Wales. If not, it's just on the Welsh-English border, so it's not a million miles away from where I live either. So I'd love to go there this year. And then the third part of that, because even my goals have sub-goals in 3s, because of course they do. Me and my mum have our birthdays really close together, so we always try to go away for our birthdays. But in 2024, we're planning to go on like a Scottish road trip. We're not entirely sure where and or what that looks like yet, but that's going to be our trip for this year. My second home goal is that I want to cook a new recipe from one of our cookbooks once a month. I was going to do once a week, but I think that would be too ambitious to start with, and I think that would stress me out too much. But we have a whole collection of cookbooks that we never look at. I enjoy cooking, and we often get stuck in the rut of cooking exactly the same things every week. So I want to force myself to try new things, whether that be like a dinner recipe or a new baking recipe. I'm really not putting too many parameters on this. I just don't want my cookbooks to gather any more dust. I'd like to actually use them. Otherwise they have no function in my house and there's no point in keeping them. And then my last goal is to actually save some money every month. I've been so bad at saving this year, and I really need to spend less frivolously. So I'm really making an effort. I'm making spreadsheets, I'm making plans, I'm making lists, and next year I'm going to save more and spend less. I'm speaking in definitive terms because I'm manifesting this goal coming true. And then we move on to my 10 aims, which kind of feel like bucket list tasks, but they're more, rather than like ongoing things, they're more like one and done, tickable items. Though I say one and done, and then the first one is that I'd like to go on a date night once a month. My partner, as I've already said, works in sports broadcast, so he doesn't work in a standard 9-to-5 job, and his hours change every single week, and he does very long hours. So sometimes there's stretches where I don't see him for weeks at a time. Sometimes he's home for maybe 5 days in a row, but I would really like it if we could make a conscious effort at least once a month to spend some actual time together. I've made a list of some ideas of some dates we can do. And then the second thing on my 10 aims list is another one that isn't a one tick and done. It's another monthly goal, but I don't know where else I'd put it. I'd like to finish at least one craft project a month. I set myself this goal before and I didn't achieve it because I didn't really know how to set the parameters to make it achievable. But with this one, I've decided what I'll probably do is set aside one day or one afternoon a month where I just sit and do a project. I've got quite a lot of like boxed kits that can be done in an afternoon or in one sitting, but I've also got lots of cross stitch kits that I can sit and do whilst watching YouTube in the evening. What I'm going to do is on the first of each month is pick the project and then it will be easier for me to assign the time I need to do to achieve that project, whether it is one afternoon or whether it will take me a few days. If I pick that project on the 1st, then I can actually figure out how I'm going to do it. And I know it sounds a bit rigid and structured, but I think that's the way that I need to approach the things that relax me. I'm not a very spontaneous person. I very much enjoy planning, I enjoy making lists, I enjoy having calendars, and taking that approach to things that I enjoy and I find relaxing, I need to remind myself that that's not a bad thing, and if that's how I get them done, it's how I get them done. The third thing on my 10 aims list is that I want to use my calligraphy workbook to work on lettering. So my sibling bought me this learn how to do calligraphy book years ago, and I've kept hold of it because it is something I want to learn, and this year I'm going to do it. Whether I implement it as one of my monthly crafts or whether I spend like 30 minutes a week on it, I really want to get better at lettering, because my bullet journal proves, if nothing else, that I don't have the best handwriting. So the next thing on my list is to see a new musical. So obviously this is easier because it's done in one night, but on the other hand, it involves more planning, it involves more money and things like that. I love musicals. I'm absolutely a musical theatre girly at heart, and there are so many musicals that are out there that I've not seen and I don't understand, because I have this thing where I don't like listening to new musicals until I've seen them live. So there's loads of musicals that I haven't given myself the chance to listen to because I've not seen them. So I want to go see a new musical. I'd also like to see, I've just written, see a not new musical. Next, I would like to see a ballet, because I'm so obsessed with ballet as an exercise form, as in terms of going to my own ballet classes. But I don't think I've seen a professional ballet since I was maybe 10 or 11. So I'd love to engage with that art form more. Down to the last 4, and I've already been talking for bloody ages. So let's try and get through these a bit faster. The next goal I've just written, musical instruments, use them or get rid of them in 2025. I was the girl that took so many musical instrument lessons when I was at school. I was in orchestra, I was in jazz band, except I kind of spread myself too thin. My mum has since admitted that she didn't let me get too good at anything when I was a kid, so that I wouldn't focus myself too much on one thing. And I really wish she hadn't done that, because then I would be at least semi-competent at one thing rather than being below average at lots of things. But I have a really nice electric piano at home that I don't know how to use well enough. I have a guitar, I have a ukulele, I have a whole bunch. I think I've even got my old flute at home, but I don't know how to use any of them well enough. So I want to make time to actually use them this year, and if I don't, I need to buck up my ideas and actually get rid of them, because it's not fair to keep them just because I feel attached to them. Or is it? Maybe it is. The next 2 I can quick fire super easily. I want to carry on doing Duolingo every day. I've been learning French for 2 years on Duolingo, and I really want to continue doing that. It's something generally I enjoy. Sometimes I'm a little bit resentful at the end of the night where I'm like, oh, I still have to do my Duolingo. But thinking about how much progress I've made with French as a language in the last 2 years is very exciting. So I want to carry on doing that. And the other one is that I want to do the 1 second every day video again. I think 2023 is my 4th or 5th 1 second every day video. And I always love looking back on those at the end of the year. So I'm definitely going to be doing that again in 2024. And then the last goal on my 10 aims list that rounds off my 2024 goals is to make a 2024 photo album. So what I want to do is go through all of the photos I take at the end of every month and save them all into a 2024 digital folder, and then over the Christmas period next year, either get them all printed and make them into my own scrapbook, or get them printed in one of those professional looking photo books and start a collection of annual photo albums, because I think they'll be so lovely to look back on. And that's it. That's all of my goals. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed listening to me ramble about my goals for next year. If you've got any goals, I'd love to hear about them. I always find what other people are focusing on and their intentions in the new year time really fascinating. So I would love to hear about them. If you have any, if you don't have any, I congratulate you on being far more chill than I am. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Bye!